Hello everyone, welcome back to a new session on non-chordata. In this presentation, we'll be looking into the characteristic features of phylum Echinodermata. Okay, here we can see the phylum Echinodermata. The general features. The term Echinodermata, it comes from the terms echinus, derma, eta, which means echinus means hedgehog, derma that's skin, and eta means bearing. So in simple words, it means spiny skinned animals. Okay, spiny skinned. The body of echinoderms, it is covered by numerous movable spines, and that is why it gets the name echinodermata or spiny skinned animals. Okay, now they are exclusively marine invertebrates. They are found in all the depth of the oceans around the world. And we can see they are virtually bottom dwellers except a few pelagic forms. Body, it is unsegmented, head is absent, uh, a distinct head region is absent, and the body surface, it is marked by 5 symmetrically radiating grooves. You can see here, this is the oral surface of starfish, a typical echinodermata. Oral surface because they bear the mouth on the surface. Okay, and the other side, it is the aboral surface. Okay, it is aboral surface. So oral surface and aboral surface. From the this part, that is where the like mouth region and all are located. This part, it is known as the central disc. In the case of starfish, it is the central disc. Okay, from the central disc, you can see arising this one, it is the groove. Okay, the radiating groove. Okay, ambulacral groove, it is otherwise known as. On either side of the ambulacral groove, you can see the tube feet. Okay, and these are the arms. You can see here there are 5 arms. 5 in each of the arm bear a radiating groove, an ambulacral groove. So 5 ambulacral grooves. Okay, so that is a very typical characteristic feature of the echinodermata. That is, they have the 5 radiating canals in their arms. Okay, then presence of water vascular system, a very unique feature of the echinodermata. It is the presence of water vascular system. Okay, the water vascular system, or it is otherwise known as the ambulacral system, uh, it is associated with the locomotion, the attachment of the organism to surfaces or organisms, or feeding, uh, and it is unique in having this kind of a system. Okay, water vascular system, it is unique to echinoderms. These water vascular system, it is a fluid filled coelomic tubes, and these water tubes have numerous hollow outpushings which are referred as the tube feet. And this tube feet is the one which helps in respiration, in locomotion, in attachment as a food collecting organs, etc. Okay. So this is the structure. Now, the vascular system, that is vascular system, which is meant for distributing nutrients, gaseous exchange, coelomocytes, etc. Okay, so that is a vascular system. In the echinoderms, it is hemal system. The vascular system or the circulatory system, it is a hemal system, and it is enclosed in a coelomic perihemal channels. It lacks distinct heart and definite blood vessels, and blood channels, they have definite walls, and they are enclosed within the coelomic channels. Okay, now regarding respiratory organs, it is dermal branchiae. You can see here tube feet, respiratory tree, or the bursae. Okay, genital bursae. Respiratory structures, it is highly variable among the different groups of echinoderms, and they include, as you can see, dermal branchiae, or we call it as dermal because skin, and branchiae, the gills. So this, otherwise we can refer it as a skin gills, right? As in the case of the sea stars. Then you can see here the genital bursae present in brittle stars, respiratory tree, as in the case of sea cucumbers. So all these are different kinds of respiratory structures found in different groups of echinoderms. Okay, ability to regenerate lost parts. Okay, you can see here, this is a starfish, a sea star, which had lost 2 arms, right? And it is getting regenerated. Okay, so it is a very peculiar nature of the, what you call, the echinoderms, the power of regeneration. That is, they can regenerate any part of broken arm. Okay, in certain species, an entire organism can be regenerated from a broken arm. That is a single arm. Okay, but only one thing is like the broken arm should have a part of the central disc. If it contains a part of the central disc, obviously it can regenerate the rest of the arms, the rest of the body. A single arm with a portion of the central disc can regenerate the whole organism. Okay, so that is, that much extreme power of regeneration is exhibited by echinoderms, right? Then they are, as already mentioned, they are good scavengers in bottom and grazing on various micro and macroalgae, corals, etc. Okay, they, as I already mentioned, they are bottom dwellers, and they they feed on a variety of organisms, including crustaceans, mollusks, corals, and they, in many of the marine communities, they form the top carnivore, or they occupy the top carnivorous level. Okay, then adults, yes, that's a very important nature. That is a pentaradial symmetry. Okay, radial symmetry, it is actually the adults, they have radial symmetry which emerged from the larva, which is having a bilateral symmetry. Okay, so adult echinoderms, they have radial symmetry. Specifically, if we can say, it is pentaradial symmetry, penta in the sense 5. Okay, so here what happens, the body parts, they are arranged in fives. You can see over here, this is a 5, right? Or it could be multiples of 5. Okay, so it could be, if you take different examples, it could be multiples of 5s. Okay, and around, usually arranged around an oral aboral axis. Okay, and this what you call radial symmetry, it is an adaptation for sedentary or slow moving nature habit, because it allows a uniform distribution of sensory, feeding, and other structures around the animal. Okay, as you can see over here, eye spot is there at every arm. There are structures, sensory structures found in every arm, right? So that is a equal uniform distribution of sensory structures, feeding structures around the oral aboral axis. Okay, so the radial symmetry, it helps in uniform distribution. Fine. Now, what is the next one? The calcareous endoskeleton. That's a very unique feature again. The echinoderm skeleton, it consists of a series of calcium carbonate plates, and these calcium carbonate plates are what is referred as ossicles, and these plates are actually derived from mesoderm, and it is covered by an epidermal layer. Okay, so this skeleton, it is frequently modified at certain places to form spines which projects out from the surface. Okay, so these are the spines you can see over here. These are the spines, and these spines are actually modified the ossicles, or we can say endoskeleton, calcareous endoskeleton. Okay, so it comes out of the epidermal layer. So that is about the endoskeleton. Okay, so these are the important features if you see. Okay, so the most noticeable characteristic features of echinoderms, they are spiny endoskeleton of plates, water vascular system, dermal branchia or such kind of respiratory organs, the pentaradial symmetry in adults, and another feature is pedicellaria. Okay, this will be learning it in detail when we study the type species. Okay, so these are the features of, general features of echinodermata. You can see unique water vascular system that extends from body surface as a series of tentacle-like projections or tube feet protracted by increase of fluid, which we'll be learning how it works and all. Okay, so this is water vascular system. Living exclusively marine organisms. Echinodermata, it includes exclusively marine organisms. Actually, most of the echinoderms, they don't have osmoregulatory structures which help in adjusting with the changing this one. So what happens is they usually get well adapted in marine ecosystem. Okay, then they are all free living, no parasitic or other forms of studied. Certain commensal forms have been found, but otherwise they are all free living ones. Okay, body is unsegmented with pentaradial symmetry, and they have ambulacral grooves, no head region, no brain. Okay, triploblastic body. Coelomorph is extensive. It forms perivisceral cavity and cavity of water vascular system. Endoskeleton is formed of calcareous ossicles with spines or of calcareous spicules and pedicellaria in some. Digestive system, it is usually complete. It is almost straight. right? It could be axial or coiled. N is absent in the case of ophiuroids, okay, the coeles. Then you can see here the skeletal elements. It is connected by ligaments of mutable collagenous tissues and a neural control. Ligaments can be locked into rigid posture, and locomotion it is by tube feet, uh, movement by spines, etc. Okay, nervous system it is with circumoral ring and radial nerves. They don't have any brain. Few specialized sensory organs are present. Uh, and the sensory system of tactile and chemoreceptors on podia, that is tube feet, then terminal tentacles, statocysts, photoreceptors, etc. are there. The autotomy and regeneration of lost parts, it is very conspicuous among the echinoderms. Asexual reproduction by fragmentation in some. Sexes are separate, except a few hermaphroditic forms with large gonads. And they have free swimming, yes, as already mentioned, bilateral larval stages. Metamorphosis of bilateral stage, bilateral larva to radial adult, and radial cleavage and regulatory development. Excretory organs are absent. Respiration by these structures, as already mentioned. And blood vascular system, hemal system. This will be looking in detail. Hemal system in detail we will be looking because it is unique to echinoderms. Another unique feature is the presence of autovascular system, the tube feet, ambulacral roofs, etc. That we also will be looking in detail when we study the starfishes. Okay, in detail we'll be looking. Okay, the structure of pedicellary, and the what you call the autovascular system, and all these structures we'll be looking in detail in the next coming presentations. Okay, fine. Thank you.